Hi, my name is Catherine Wambugu. Have you ever heard of Wambugu Apple? It's a Kenyan bred apple developed in Kenya. And as they say, an apple a day keeps doctor away. Here is our story. Before I take you through what we have now, or what a Wambugu Apple is, let me take you a little bit back where Wambugu started and where all this came from. It's my father who is Wambugu Apple. The apple was named after his name, and that was Kali. By then it was Kali, but now is called Carlo. So the one who came in our farm and they saw a special apple and named it after his own name because he's the one who started all this. So he got this apple from the forest where the white people used to plant their fruits, and he found an apple. And he took a branch and he propagated from the Kenyan apple from Abradea's forest. So that's all where Wambugu Apple started. Then from Wambugu Apple, he came and planted, that is from Nyeri. He planted in Nyeri before he came here in Laikipia, and he was doing so well in Nyeri, and he started selling to other people in hot areas and cold areas, which came out very well in cold and hot areas. So he found a place like this, not this farm, we have another one. Then it came up so well. So he decided now to expand the farm and came here we are. That was 1999. For us, you know, we found our dad struggling somehow for marketing. So we started in Nyeri, as I said before. We found that my dad is struggling in marketing and also working because he was all alone. All of us were in Nairobi. Some of us were in school, in colleges, university. So when we were all done, like myself, I came earlier than them, and also my brother. So we had to show him, the digital way, the marketing way. So we started marketing it and he found it easy, and that's where we came in for help. And also we joined him to do the right way, because he used to plant all of them in they were somehow clouded. So even the fruits itself, they were so tiny, and also the quality. So we had to come in and use this digital thing, and we are able to get the best feeding of the plant, the best market. Like now we got a market in Netherlands, that is in Holland, and that's where people who buy, they come from. So that we are able to lift him from the local market and also international market. How we got into international market, having been in the local market for almost 5 years, we first got to register as a company, with the cafes, because these are people who are involved in any plants on fruits and all that. So we had to now go to a higher point now to register our fruits and get also the certificate for all these, because the international market, they need all this process. Then from there, they gave us now, when they came to our farm, they got the quality is the best for international, because they have all the instructions and the qualifications for you to get to the international market. So that's how we had to get there, the international market, because we are increasing the land that we are planting all this, and many people in Kenya, they are doing so. So we found that if all these people are going to venture into this, then it will be somehow the local market would flood. So we had to go in and get the documentation for the export, and we got cleared with the cafes and also with the environmental ministry, and they gave us all the documentation. So us packing to Netherlands, it's so easy. They come to our farm, and then they give us the paperwork, and then we export. We put them in the 40-feet containers, and then they go. Every week we do a whole container. For someone who's trying to get for international market, first you certify your farm, and you make sure whatever you're doing is organic, because they insist on organic. They don't like chemicals. So avoid using the chemicals. Certify your farm, use the biological traps instead of chemicals, because it will trap all the insects that will affect the fruits. So make sure that anything you're doing is organic. So that's the first thing you're supposed to do, because they are so specific. So when you are through with that, then you go to the cafes, which is closer to you. Any of it, cafes, they are everywhere. You go to their office, tell them you want to export this fruit, even if it's avocado, even if it's peaches, even if it's apples. You go to them, tell them you're doing this pitch. They will come to your farm, they will go through whatever you're doing, they will see what is around, then they give the certificate. Then from there, movement is so easy. You just start exporting. Currently, we are in 10 acres of land, but the journey has not been easy. We started in Nyeri at 1 acre, where you had planted, I think, 200 plants. But here in this farm, we have 7 acres full of these apples. But has not been easy. We have tried, we have struggled, but we are here finally. Because some of the challenges that we have encountered on the way is, one, is getting the land. It's not easy. You need to buy a land. And that's why you had to come this point, because however much the land is far, it's your own, and you'll be able to do whatever you want. So we moved from Nyeri to this place. It was not easy to get even the 10 acres at the same place, doing the same thing. The other big challenge we have is the birds. We have a challenge with the birds. But we thank God, we share with God, because we are the fathers of those birds. Because you can see so many, they are eaten by the birds. But anyway, we had to accommodate that before we get there. As I said, it's not easy. So right now, you can see there is no net. We are thinking of doing the shade net. Once we do the shade net, now we will have solved the line of birds. So from there, we will not be talking about the challenge of birds again. So the other thing was a challenge of getting water. As you can see, this area is semi-arid. So getting water it was a big issue. So we had to get a land which has water. We are able to now to get to the farm. We have a source of water here, and that's what we normally use here. But those people who have water at their farm, then that is not a challenge to them. So, but we thank God we are here. So as you continue with this apple farming, because apple in Kenya is not so common, so everyone would want to eat that apple. Even if they don't, we want to know which is this. So the other thing, you fence your land. As you can plant first, then be fencing as the apples go up. So by the time they come to fruit, your land is already fenced well. And also later on, when you see the fruits are there, you can do the shade net. The shade net are not that much expensive, and then you use the low materials we have in Kenya, the trees, the eucalyptus for the post. So it's not that hard also to do the shade net. Now, doing fruits, it's the best opportunity we have, because one, our fruits, they are easy to manage. I would say that once you plant these plants, mostly apples, avocados, macadamias, once you plant it, you give that tender care in the beginning. Once it starts fruiting, like this apple, once it starts fruiting, it's non-stop. You go one-on-one, now and then. So it's a big opportunity. It's not like coffee. Coffee you do once or twice in a year. And again, the protocols you're using for coffee in this Kenya is somehow discouraging us farmers. My dad used to farm coffee and the tea. He had to cut all of it, the whole farm, and he did the apples. And our lives changed automatically from that point. Because for one, everyone would take fruit. Even you yourself, you pluck this apple, you eat. You cannot eat coffee. You need for it for the process. But this one, you eat it like this, or you make a juice, you make apple vinegar. So this is the best opportunity for fruits. For someone who wants to do Wambugu apple, because this is what we are doing, we have found the best thing in apple. For someone who wants to go into this apple farming, you only need the land. And one thing I would say, don't rent a land for you to start Wambugu apple. It's so risky. Because one, this tree will be there over 100 years. You can imagine you have a land which you are renting, and then the owner would say, I want to build a house, or I want also to do other things. So that means your vision is cut off. So for you to start Wambugu apple, you need to have your land, your own, as in it's your own. Then you only need land, manure, and water, because it's only need water, especially in the beginning for nurturing and all that. Then from there, this fruit will be fruiting throughout the year. Once you plant, it will start fruiting at 9 months. It may even start earlier than you think is 9 months, but we discourage the earlier pregnancy. So make sure you discourage by removing the flowers. Remove them to discourage the fruiting. Because one branch or one knot after removing the flowers, it will have like 6 pieces of fruits. That means like this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was a 6th one. So if you allow these when it is 4 months, meaning it will break. So just be patient, you get there. Once it's 9 months, then you are good to go. It will give you 6 every point, 6 fruits, 6 fruits. So that is at 9 months. So at the end of the year, you're supposed to start eating or selling your apples, and it will fruit throughout. When you're done with this, there are some like 3 stages coming up: flowers and small fruits. So it's non-stop. So you are in business throughout. That's the good thing with Wambugu apple. Not like the other apples, because other apples will do have maybe once in a year or twice in a year. This one is throughout. That's why we encourage people to do this, because we know when you are invest on this, then you are in business throughout the year. There's one thing I would say about the apple farming. When you're doing apples, the spacing we normally do 3 meters from one tree to the other, and also from one line to the other. So that doesn't mean that you not do other things. Apples you can intercrop with any other thing. So in between the apples, you can do other thing in between. But only thing we discourage and we don't want, and you yourself you see that, is maize. You cannot intercrop with apples. When you put apple here, then you put the maize around it. The pouring of maize, it will spoil the fruits. It will spoil the flowers. Therefore, all the flowers were bought. Then what is the meaning of you having that apple in the farm? So make sure that you discourage any intercropping. So avoid maize, but you can do any other thing. The apples will cooperate them. Like now we have done even the pomegranate, and they are doing quite okay. And also there were some beans we have been intercropping, and because of the feeding of the plant, they also benefit from the same. So that is it. On the other hand, now when you think of this apple, you think of big market, because the market is there. I said locally is there, and also international is there. Now, how to get these seedlings? We have some seedlings. So if you need the seedlings, we have them. If the large you want, so we have them, because it's good to know the source of the trace of the plant. So don't just do any apple. Make sure that is a quality apple because of the sizing. These ones they are so big, and we don't do hormone. Whichever size it is or the shape, they don't they don't say that they want this round shape, because they know they need organic. So doesn't bother the shape. So for those people who would want to, maybe for generation or leaving a legacy, you can do apple, because one, you do other things on the ground, but your kids will benefit from the apple, because these apples would be there years and years and years, over 100 years. You yourself will have been gone, and your kids have taken, like us, we took after our father, who trusted on this, and then we trusted on him. So if you want to do this, it is not only for you, even for your generations to come. Your kids will come to sell. They will not come to struggle as you did. As we don't go through the struggles like my father went, he would take the bags like this to the market in Nyeri town, Nanyuki, Nairobi, like the 2 bags in a matatu they go. But as we are not using matatus, we are using our own car for the delivery of trees. So the struggles that my father had is not the struggles that we are. So the struggle for now, for the benefits of your kids. So make sure it's a generation, a lineage coming up. And I think that's what God meant in the Bible, that's leave a legacy for your kids. Going forward now, we are thinking of doing 50 acres of apples. Simply because if 20 acres can give us 1 million after 6 months, then it means if we expand, we will make billions. And we are encouraging people to do so, because apples we import from South Africa. What do we have it in Kenya? So this is the best thing for us. Now we are at 10 acres, though it's not full, we are still planting. So for us, we want to do 50 acres, because we are thinking of, already we have a process of bringing the machine and for adding value. So we will be having fruits. You can buy a fruit, you can buy apple vinegar, an apple cider, and also wine of an apple. So we need to have a bigger land. So this is the way forward for us. Now from there is 50 acres. That's our story about Wambugu Apple. What's your agri story? Share it with us. So sweet and crunchy.